And finally, we arrived to the last problem to be solved. It's a FizzBuzz question. And as I mentioned during the class, there are a lot of solutions. I mentioned some videos explaining the solution for this problem, also that it's a reasonably frequent question for the job interview. So it would be nice to discuss this. Since it's almost always you will find this solution, it would be nice to offer something different during your job interview, if you will have this question. And most of all, you need to, as I mentioned before, you need to be triggered by the repetition in the programming. So we verify 2 times this, then we have 2 repeated print statement for the same string. You can see that basically FizzBuzz in fact is concatenation of 2 strings. So you need to think about some algorithm that will let you do the same thing after only 1 verification. So basically, if it's divisible by 3, you need to add fizz. And if later you verify divisibility by 5, you will add buzz. And if none of them was done, you would print just a number. So I understand that you are beginners and maybe it's not that obvious how to find this solution. So you can ask this question to ChatGPT to brainstorm, to think maybe different solutions for this problem. So coming here, I previewed that probably there could be other different approaches to solve this problem. So my question was, give me 5 different approaches to solve this problem in Python 3. And yes, as I said, the first one to appear, the most frequent one that we can find everywhere on the internet, is the one that I showed and asked not to repeat this one. The second one is the approach using a list comprehension and conditional expressions. So you can see that this problem can be solved using basically 1 line, but we don't know what are lists and what is a list comprehension. We will discover this in the future classes, but not for now. This one using dictionary, it's another data type that we will discover a little bit later during the course. And this one we don't know. Oh, this one seems to be a little bit more interesting for us because it's using while loop that we learned in the previous classes, but still it remains double verification. So I thought, okay, I was not able to find any appropriate solution to avoid double verification. So I would ask for another 5 different approaches. I will not stop here because none of them offered a good solution, acceptable solution for me. So they were kind of repeated. And well, 15, it's also another way to write that it's divisible by 3, divisible by 5, and we have repeated strings, though it's not what we want. So I decided to change the way I'm asking this question. So I'm saying that my goal is declare only 2 strings. As we saw in the previous assignments, it's a good practice to declare strings at the very beginning of the program. So I'm saying my goal is declare only 2 strings at the very beginning of the program, and then using the while loop. It's our requirement in this case because we have not seen for loop during the class time. For each number, I want to check only once if it's divisible by 3 or if it's divisible by 5. Divisibility by 15 is basically the repeated verification for divisibility by 3 and 5 together. So you need to avoid doing that. So I gave more precise information to ChatGPT, et voilà, la magie. Désolé. Magic happened here. So what I did, well, I asked ChatGPT to do for me. I introduced 2 strings. I started the counter, and till the counter is less than 100, it will continue here. And what it will do, you can see that at the very beginning, each time that we change the number, the current number, output will be given as an empty string. There is nothing to be written here. Once we check the number and it's divisible by 3, we will add the fizz string. So basically from nothing, it will become fizz. And next step, if it's divisible by 5, we will add buzz to the string of fizz. And if the number was not divisible by 3, it is still an empty string. So we will have only buzz. Basically, coming here, we will ask if not output. What does it mean? If the string is empty, it gives us a Boolean of false. So we are asking, if the false is false, basically, maybe it's a little bit confusing for now, but we are saying double negation gives us a positive answer. So if it's, in other words, we can say if our string is still empty. So if our string is still empty, it means that none of these conditions happened, so our string is empty. So we will transform our number into a string and assign to our output variable, and then we will print it. So if none of this happens, we will print the number, and it's exactly what we need. And we will go to the next number and do it again and again. So, and here is an explanation. Then normally it's a convention to start counter at 0, since Python is a zero-based language. But yes, as we know, sometimes we can break some rules, but for me, it's better to start with 0, and the thing that will change, that we will change the step at the very beginning of the program, and here we will use already a +1 at the beginning of each loop step. So that's it. I discovered what I wanted to do. Later, I had another discussion with ChatGPT, and it was insisting on the very first solution. So sometimes it's ChatGPT can offer biased solution for us, so you need to be attentive. And for now, it's not perfect. Even you can see that we were able to discover very interesting things. It's not perfect at this moment, but we need to try to talk to it and to discover how we can obtain very useful information. Basically, I will give you another solution I will come back. This one you can try to repeat. So pause the video and repeat this solution in your notebook if you want. I will give another. So yes, it's here. I have written it to my notebook to try it. But as I said, we need to bring more comments to our code and improve, see if there are other kind of improvements that we can bring here. And I decided to change a little bit how it works. I love using string multiplication. So basically, I was saying my output would be fizz multiplied by the result of current number divisibility by 3 and buzz with current number divisibility by 5. So in one line here, I needed to introduce the break line with a backslash slash, but yes, because it became too long to be placed in only one line. And you can see that it became more readable this way. And if after this verification our number is still an empty string, we would print a current number. So you can see another use of logical operators or. So operator or it functions the way that it should print the first one if it's true, and the second one if the statement at the left side is not true. Yes, basically that is another solution for the FizzBuzz problem. Thank you.